What's happening?
Yo,
Yes, sir.
Everybody,
I like, know what you like. You like.
it does sound exactly right.
If y'all watch YouTube a lot like I do, I'm subscribed to Showbiz, the adult, boxing channel. It's probably one of the best YouTubes out there, just for all like the antics and the callbacks he does. It's an amazing show. Dude's talented at that YouTube.
Showbiz the adult. Whoa, my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Mute that up. All right.
Coming in hot.
Yeah, coming in hot.
I came in like a wreck.
All right, people, it is Wednesday, January the 18th. The Wire is live, and I think there's a lot we could talk about. Basketball is ready. We are almost covering basketball every week, but we're not doing that. The NFL playoffs are here. You see it in the title in the Wire Sports Podcast. So let's start right now. Maybe it's not.
I'm going in, it's first and 10. I'm a legend boy, a champion. They can't match the flows, the X's and O's. I'm breaking the code, devastation about to unfold. They calling me Derek by the way I roll. Bet you never ever seen a pro this cold. I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I mix with I am Mike and the great Ali. I'm a run it back, believe me baby. I fathered the game, call me Daddy Brady. I'm like that, try be like this. Sammy is so that boy don't miss. It's the return of the greatest. Any way you name it, I'm everybody's favorite. I'm bringing the pain and bringing the fire. Hey, stay tuned, it's going down to the wire.
That's right, the Wire Sports Podcast. We are back in action on Wednesday, the way it should be, and it always has been. Fellas, how you doing?
We good. It's a full squad.
Full squad.
Good.
Whole team's here. The family's back
Live.
together. Band's back together. Live. Got people in the
Boys
comments.
are back in town.
Yeah. It was too good to be true to expect comments already, but maybe coming soon. Folks, as you're watching and listening, please let some comments come in here. We love to interact with you. We usually do pass, play, or one shot for the NFL, but one of our favorite things about playoff season is there's not so many games. So I have the leisure and the pleasure of covering all of the games that happened this week in the NFL wild card round. Some things went as expected, I'm sure, and some things maybe not so expected. And some people just couldn't kick a field goal to save their life. So I think we'll cover a little bit of all of that today and maybe a little bit more. So starting off, guys, let's dive on in. The NFL wild card round is here. 49ers and the Seahawks on Saturday. 49ers got the win. They're moving on 41-23. Who wants to get us started?
I want to get started, but here's what I want to say. I'm going to talk about this, but first, I just saw today, this is breaking press. 2 hours ago, the Steelers have confirmed that they will retain Matt Canada for next year as their offensive coordinator. So I'm sure everyone but Steeler fans are very excited about that. Thank you, Pittsburgh. See, this is my problem with Mike Tomlin. I love him. He's a great coach. He did exactly what I said he shouldn't do, which is do Mike Tomlin and not have a losing season. And now he's keeping arguably the second worst offensive coordinator. I think the worst one's technically in New England. But, man, Matt Canada is also garbage. So I'm shocked. But anyways, let's talk to this game. Niners gang over here, obviously. This is going similarly to what Sahe and I were talking about last week. It's hard to beat somebody 3 times. And I'll tell you, Seattle at that first half, it was a tough game. It was looking good. In the second half, I don't want to say adjustments and stuff like that because we also that Peyton Manning, where he mentioned, I don't know if you guys saw this on the Manning cast, he said they never did adjustments at halftime. Literally in his 18-year career or whatever, they never did halftime adjustments. That's not really a thing. They do 2 drives, like the first 2 opening drives on the offense, and then he went and ate orange slices and took a shower. Like that's what they did. Even when he's a rookie, not just like when he was a vet. So he's saying this halftime adjustment stuff that like the media and fans always assume isn't as big of a deal as people think it is. So anyways, the Niners going into that second half. Oh, Brian is coming in hot saying that the Patriots technically didn't have an offensive coordinator. So by default, that makes Matt Canada the worst offensive coordinator. Brian, touche. Fair enough. Fair enough. But I would argue that Matt Canada is still technically not as bad as no offensive coordinator, which is what the Patriots also had. Anyway, sorry, back to the game. The Niners are loaded. We've talked about this before. Brendan Ayuk, like, honestly, Christian McCaffrey, you know, you want to talk about like a steal. Obviously, you know, Trey was the one who was preaching that, right? But Christian McCaffrey is looking like Christian McCaffrey 3 years ago. I mean, this guy, I think we expected it with Kyle Shanahan, but man, this team, their defense is, you know, obviously the best defense in the league right now, but their offense is very scary. This is a very quarterback-friendly thing. Brock Purdy's playing great. You know, we'll see. Maybe he does the Tom Brady and goes all the way. Who knows? But I'll give the Seattle this. They had a better season than I think anyone here predicted. I think when we saw Russell Wilson leaving, we didn't anticipate this. Geno Smith had a great season. You know, but honestly, the Niners were a better team. And the second half isn't indicative of like the discrepancy of the teams, but the 49ers kind of blew them out in the second half. And I think, you know, let's just remember that Seattle's loaded. I think they have 8 picks in the first 4 rounds this year. So this is going to be an interesting team to look out for in the next couple years. But yeah, what a great game. I was shocked it ended up being so back half heavy, but it looked competitive the whole time until that second half. And, you know, Seattle is not a team to sleep on. So congratulations to Seattle. This was the tank season. I think everyone is expecting, right? Like, we didn't know if DK Metcalf was going to sign. They weren't even talking about Geno, right, in the preseason. It wasn't about Geno. And then Geno wins the starting position, and off to the races he went and had a fantastic season. So Seattle's future is looking bright. We can talk about San Francisco some other time.
Love it. Thank you, sir. Which of you gentlemen? We got He-Man in the building. I didn't even realize. He has the power.
I thought it was hilarious. My other StreamYard, he died, so I wanted to switch it up a little bit.
Well, yeah. Whoever wants it next.
Yeah, but I predicted the Seahawks to win this. They kind of let me down. All my picks were so wrong. I thought I knew what was going on this year, but obviously I don't. But it was looking good in the first half, like Richie said. But the Seahawks, they weren't supposed to make the playoffs. Let's just be honest. They weren't supposed to be there. It was a great story. You would have liked to see the Packers in that spot, maybe get their revenge, but the Seahawks did what they had to do, and the Lions put the Packers out. But they just didn't have enough to stop that running game. You really have to focus in on Christian McCaffrey, because they're going to give him the ball 3,000 times per game, running the ball, passing the ball. And Brock Purdy's just not making mistakes right now. The stakes are going to get higher, so we're going to see, like, I'm anxious to see, especially this Cowboys game. Cowboys are looking good. What Brock Purdy's going to do. But it was a good game. Seahawks overachieved this year. Pete Carroll's an amazing coach, a coach that you would want to play for. And like Richie said, they're not a team to sleep on. So I'm excited to see what they do here in the future.
A lot of people calling for the 49ers to go all the way. I mean, a lot of people picking that way. So absolutely. Trey, what do you think, man? 49ers, Seahawks.
I think that the guys hit the nail on the head when they were talking about the first half. It looked like it was going to be a slugfest. I think Pete Carroll is always going to have a solid defense. And I think Geno Smith was playing with a loaded deck. He really didn't have anything to lose this year, and it just so happened that both of their picks hit, the running back and the tight end. It looked like they both hit. Brock Purdy is kind of on the same level. He's playing with house money as well. He really didn't have anything to lose. He's Mr. Irrelevant. He's pushing the ball down the field because who else are they really going to go to? I know they said Trey Lance he can play, but he's still injured. And C-Mac is just, I don't know if it's prisoner of the moment. He might be the best running back in the NFL. Honestly, you can run between the tackles like Derrick Henry. You can line him up in the slot. And he can run better. He's probably top 10 slot receiver if he just played that. And he'll block. He's going to stick his nose in there. The 49ers are tough.
Absolutely. Any rebuttals from around the way on this?
Not on a rebuttal. All I'm gonna say with Trey, real quick, McCaffrey is like Marshall Faulk. If you guys remember Marshall Faulk back in the day, he's just versatile. Yes. He can do everything great, like Trey was saying. And so it's I don't disagree with Trey. It's a matter of preference though with running back, right? Because for instance, a traditional guy like Derrick Henry, that's hard to replicate. It's hard to replicate a guy who not necessarily is always going to get like 6 or 7 yards, but who's going to carry the ball up to 30 times and just bang on you, right? And that's not Christian McCaffrey, but Christian McCaffrey is an efficient guy. He's the type of guy who you get 15 carries like he did, 120 yards. Like, it's a dream come true in addition to his receiving skills and his blocking skills. So, running back's such a tricky thing because it depends on like what you want out of the team. But I don't think anyone would argue with you. You got to remember, man, 2 years ago, most people were saying he was the best back in the league, and he got that big-ass contract, pardon my language. So I was shocked they got him for a 4th rounder or whatever they traded for. It was crazy to me.
Yeah, he's always hurt, though.
He is always hurt.
They fleeced him.
His running style,
he does get hurt.
His legs just continuously move on contact. He's a tough guy to bring down.
Hey man, he's in the Niners, and I'll tell you what, they have great running block scheming. I believe they will be able to protect him better in terms of like his durability, and I think he's going to be able to have a great career in San Francisco. To be honest, barring any crazy injury, I don't believe he's going to have the same injury problems. Kyle Shanahan loves running back by committee. I think this is going to become like a Cleveland situation where they don't want Christian running the ball 20 plus times. They'll probably next year reduce him down to 10 and have him out in the slot like Trey was talking about more. They're gonna try to keep this kid playing as long as possible, and they're gonna extend his career.
Got another comment coming from Brian in the comment section. Thank you for interacting, Brian. If the Niners win a Super Bowl with Purdy, is Trey Lance's job safe?
Brian, he out of here. That's a great question, but he out of here. I'm telling you right now, like it's just
no. Why?
Oh, he out of here.
He's gone.
Purdy's Purdy's younger.
Listen, and listen, I don't want to.
Let Trey go.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say let's not. I don't want to. He's doing a great job, but it's only a handful of games he has on tape, right? He did play all 4 years in college. I love the fact that he's taking risks, but before we start, anointing him, let's see what he's got first. Because as soon as defense is going to catch up to him. Yeah, this is you don't get that advantage for too long in this league.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And he's 6-0 right now. He won a Super Bowl. It's going to be so hard for them to be like, "Yo, Purdy, you won that Super Bowl, but." Trey Lance we think he's the guy, so we're going to have to sit you down. If Purdy win that Super Bowl, Trey Lance is going to be a hot commodity for a trade.
That's what Trey, I'm not disagreeing with you, and I'm not even saying Brock Purdy is like the greatest quarterback ever. As a matter of fact, in Iowa State, he was a turnover machine, right? Like, if we're being serious here. But what I'm saying is Trey Lance, like, we don't have any tape on him or games on him either, and he wasn't looking good. That's okay, though. That's not the point. The point is Trey Lance was drafted in the 1st round as the 2nd pick. That's going to be a big money contract that they could, if they can keep Purdy and Purdy successful, they would rather use that on their team. Their team, as we discussed, is stacked. And the one thing in this league is you look whenever you can get a rookie contract and keep, so like Purdy being in the 7th round, they can get away with murder in terms of like cap space. So if Purdy wins them a Super Bowl, and if they're confident enough in him, I think they take that gamble so they can lock down Nick Bosa, lock down George Kittle, lock down Christian McCaffrey long term, and Brandon Ayuk and they adjusted Debo. I think they would rather do that than like keep Trey for a couple years and possibly lose one of those guys, and then Trey's still not your guy. While Trey's commodity is still super valuable. That's why I believe if Brock Purdy wins, he's out. Not because he's not talented, Trey Lance, but that he'd be still a hot commodity because we don't know how good he is, and they'd be able to use the cap effectively. That's why I think they would do it. I'm not saying he's better. I don't think he's better than Trey Lance.
At the same time, they did disrespect Jimmy G and they damn near want to ship him out of town, and he took them deep into the playoffs multiple times, and they're like, Trey Lance is our guy. So we've seen them do it before for Trey Lance. So,
well, Brock Purdy might be the hot commodity then.
No, they ain't trading Brock Purdy just because he's not like his contract's so cheap. Like they're gonna keep that dude on the bench even if they want if Trey starts.
Purdy's like 700,000. Something like that.
At the same time, his value wouldn't be any higher. He wouldn't be as good if he wasn't on the Niners. He's not like carrying that team on his back.
I agree with you, but that's why I think Trey's the better hot commodity, because everyone knows Brock Purdy would not be successful in most teams. They're stacked. They're absolutely stacked, which is why Brock Purdy looks good. They have like 4, Pro Bowl caliber, like receiver, tight end, running back, like across the board. They're very, very talented offensively, which is not the normal. And that's exactly why I believe, like with everyone, Brock Purdy, it looks good because the 49ers are a pretty good team, quite frankly. It's really that simple.
Oh, wow.
I went for it. My dad.
I know that.
Pretty good indeed. I like
pretty good.
That's a pretty good joke you made there too. Can't be reused. I failed it. Okay, let's move on to the next game. We got the Jaguars and the Chargers. Comes down to 1 point. 1 point, and Jacksonville moves on 31-30. Who wants to kick us off?
I just want to talk about Sunshine. Pretty much.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think Sunshine I feel like he has arrived. I feel like we've all been talking about the past few weeks and how he is everything that we thought he was coming out of Clemson. They have the receivers. He can make the throws. They have the defense. I'm really this close for the upset. I'm really close about this upset, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna get into it, but I like the Jaguars a lot.
I think we'll talk about it on the tail half of the show.
Yeah,
but yeah.
But the Jaguars are amazing. I love everything about them.
Yeah. Hey, I'll say it here on the wire first. Trey has been very hot on the Jags all year. He's definitely defended Trevor Lawrence when we were saying Justin Fields was similar to him. Trey said, no. Trevor Lawrence up here, Fields is way down here. So, Sahe, what do you think about this game?
Yo, we got to talk about it.
Yeah,
we got to. We
both guessed this wrong, by the way.
Yeah. I thought the Chargers had the experience. I thought they were there. They were looking like the team that I thought they were going into the second half of that game. And then we got to talk about it. Are these games freaking rigged? Come on, man. The ref runs down Joey Bosa, and he's like, what you say? Go ahead. Say it. Say it again.
Say it one more time.
Say it one more time. Ooh! I throw the flag. I throw it. And he said it again, and he threw it. And he got the Jaguars right back into the game. They was holding Joey Bosa all game, lining up offsides, false starting. Refs weren't doing nothing. And Joey Bosa in his end of the season press conference, like, I'm sick of these guys. Like, he goes on the whole tirade. He's probably going to get fined. But it's just funny because people believe that the games are rigged. And moments like that, it makes it believable. But like, if you really think about it, it would be so tough to rig the games extremely hard. But when you got refs in there running players down, talking about what, bro? What, bro? You want to go? You want to go, bro? You can't be doing that, man. It's just egregious, but great game. Great comeback for the Jaguars. Gives them a huge boost of momentum going into this divisional round. Who are they playing?
Chiefs.
Kansas City.
Yeah, well,
Kansas City.
it was
I
a
got
good.
theory
It was
on
a
that.
good.
I got a theory on that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. But great Cinderella story. What's going on?
I'll wait for Trey. I'll let Trey do his thing, and then I'll mention how I felt about this game.
I was gonna say I have a. I was gonna say I have a theory about that since you brought it up.
Yeah, what's the theory?
What is it?
Oh,
Tell us.
Patrick Mahomes can't do well when you can rush four.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes can't do much when you can rush four and drop everybody in coverage. And the Jaguars can rush four and put people in coverage. That's why he has such a hard time versus the Raiders. So, I mean, buckle up.
I mean, we'll see.
That is a good point.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that in a sec. Here's my take on the game. I want to go back to Trevor Lawrence for 2 seconds. And I also want to go back to something Sahe and I were talking about. Trevor Lawrence threw 4 interceptions, man. And then in the second half, who cares? He's like, you know what? I'm about to throw 4 tubs. Who cares? I never see. And honestly, this is how you know Trevor Lawrence is that guy. And I'm with Trey, not because of the performance. And I don't mean like that. Not that his performance wasn't fantastic, but that his teammates believed in him. You know, like this wasn't like what's his face, our Kirk over there in Minnesota, right? Like
Cousins.
he threw four Cousins, 4 interceptions, and his teammates were still like, we got it in the second half, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's why these Jaguars are different. Like almost 90% of the NFL, like a team would have just given up. They would have been done. But on the flip side, bro, the Chargers are the Chargers. What else is this? This is the Chargers I've known my entire life, where they always do well. They're loaded. And then they have a lead and they blow it. Like this is the Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees Chargers of the early 2000s with a Danian Tomlinson, where they're stacked. Because we talked about at the beginning of the year, this team was stacked. Then we're talking about with Brian, because Brian was kind of saying they're inconsistent. And I was like, hold the phone, man. These mofos haven't had both their wide receivers all season, and they still won 10 games. And then they go out and do that. So I don't know what I'm supposed to say other than they're the Chargers, bro. I can't believe the head coach got away with it, and they fired all the other coaches, but not the head coach. I'm like, you kidding me? This fucking idiot? Like, this guy likes to go for it on 4th down all the time, and then in the second half, when he's up 27 points, he's like, bruh, you know what? We ain't gonna run. We're not gonna do anything. We'll just not score, and our defense is gonna crumble. And even though Bosa was right in a lot of cases, and there's a lot of holding and offsides and lining up in the neutral zone, there's a lot of bullshit. But that still doesn't defend how bad they played defensively in the second half. So that shocked me. Kudos to Jacksonville. I didn't see that coming. This was one of those games, like, we were talking, me and Sahe, where it's like, all right, like, a lot of these games could be like 50-50, but we just thought the Chargers were just, more veteran and experienced, and Justin Herbert was going to take that. But Trevor Lawrence was like, you know what, Justin Herbert, get out of here. I'm better than you. Get the fuck out of here. 4 tubs, 4 interceptions, and we still, like, he had an amazing game. How many times, like, if you looked at that on paper, nobody would be like, man, that was a good game, right? You'd be like, I don't know. But that was a hell of a game by him. That was crazy. Brian coming back. See, he's mad at me. He's saying Chargers are too damn inconsistent. I told you 3 weeks ago, Richie, you stupid fuck. Brian, you got me. What can I say, man? You got me.
He was right.
He was right.
I didn't want to believe it.
I kept defending him for no reason. I'm a dumbass.
Nah, you guys are all very, very smart. I have no puns on this game.
Okay. I'll take it.
I wanted to pun. I wanted to be punny, but I'm punned out. All right. Damn, I think I did have a Chargers joke, but it's gone. So let's move on to the
It
Dolphins.
bolted out of here.
Yeah. Oh, see, thank you for the backup. So we need some dads on this show. That's what we got for you.
He's coming with him.
Get each other's backs. That's what
coming
we're here
with
for. Yeah, Dolphins, Bills. The Bills got this one barely, 34
That was
to
a good
31. Barely got it. Who wants to kick us off?
Did you say Billy got it? I wasn't sure. I didn't know if I heard that or not.
They Billy got it.
They Billy got it. Okay, I'll lead this one off. I apologize,
Billy got it.
guys. I'm in a moment. This game shocked me. I did not think this was one of those ones where it's like, man, Bills are gonna smash them. They don't have Tua, and this was way more competitive than I thought it was gonna be. Man, Buffalo's been kind of struggling on the low key. You know, if you look at the stats again, Josh Allen looked like he had a great game. It was almost 400 yards. I think he threw for 3 touchdowns, but it just felt like, wow, you know, because we know how Miami is right now. They're hurt. They don't have the starting quarterback. This shouldn't have been a close game. We're going to talk about that again in another game as well. But, you know, the point is the Bills won. That's what matters if you're a Bills fan. You know, you got to take what you can get. This Miami team had huge ambitions early. They're kind of, you know, in a weird spot at this point. But this was a game I did not see being this close. And I thought when Miami was up 14-0, it was over. Like I was already calling. I was like, man, it's over. I'm about to turn this trash off. And I think the Dolphins scored 17 in the second, you know, like in the next quarter. And we're like, no, we staying in this game. And it was way closer than I thought. You know, honestly, kind of like the Jaguars, you know, kudos to Miami for not just giving up. And honestly, all these teams, they all try. Well, actually, never mind. Sahe, that might hit too close to home. Most of these teams really tried hard to stay in the game. I apologize. That was not intentional. I feel so bad. Because I was sitting here like, man, these were close game. And then there's that one game. That was that one game we don't have to talk about, unfortunately. But anyway, yeah. Closer game than I expected, but congratulations, Buffalo.
All right. Who wants it next? We got Trey and He-Man.
Yeah, I'll say this, right? Buffalo's been through a lot these past few weeks, right? They're going into a playoff game, big game. They're expected to blow this team out. Things are going right early. I feel like they let off the gas a little bit and kind of just let the Dolphins hang around because Skylar Thompson didn't really have that great of a game. If you look at the stats, you're like, how was this game close, right? But they were able to hang in there. But the thing I will say to that is this: good teams know how to win those close games, right? So they show that they belong in the playoffs. They were able to pull out a close game, a team that has talent. They're fighting out there. So it's just a notch in the cap to the Bills, that coaching staff and those players. That game wasn't supposed to be that close. They were in jeopardy. Hopefully that doesn't rub off, like any self-doubt creep in, because they've got a big challenge coming up. So we're going to have to see how that works out. But for the Dolphins, it's just been such a wild season with the Tua drama. You got Tyreek Hill coming in. They're lighting it up. They're looking like a team. They get hit with injuries. They still managed to make it into the playoff. I like Mike McDaniels as a head coach. He's kind of an off guy, but he's super smart. He's a cool guy. The team obviously loves playing for him. So the Dolphins, they get a quarterback down there. There's going to be plenty of quarterbacks free agency coming up in the draft. So if they get a guy down there that can hit them dots, they're going to be another team to watch out for.
Absolutely. And Brian chiming in, we got a hot take. The Dolphins draft an athletic quarterback later in the draft to replace Tua, possibly Florida's quarterback.
Ooh, that is kind of spicy.
That's a little spicy.
Who could a later round? I don't know. Like a Malik Willis type?
I don't even. Who's Florida's quarterback?
I'm not sure.
He was never hero of the week. I can tell you that. Dang. All right. Thanks. Anybody in the comments that wants to take Brian up on his hot take, please do. I love the participation. Love it. Trey, what did you make of this game, my friend?
Just piggyback off what Sahe and Richie said. I think there's been a lot going on, but they've been trending kind of down even before Hamlin. I feel like Josh Allen's been off for like the last half of the season, kind of. But credit to them for winning. They got a real tough opponent coming up. The Dolphins, I don't think anybody really picked them to do what they're doing. I mean, they like you said, they've been hit with the injury bug pretty hard. The Tua situation is extremely scary, especially after the Hamlin situation and the situation that happened in the Tampa Bay game. So hopefully they can grab a quarterback. The future looks bright with McDaniels, but I think the Bills were the better team.
Trey, I just got a note from the producer's office. We're not supposed to mention that team from the other team from Florida on today's broadcast.
Oh, my bad. I didn't get that memo.
It's similar to Sahi's handwriting, but it says it's from the producer's desk. So I don't.
Just send me over that memo. Just send me over that memo.
Yeah, can we get that sent over to the other side of the studio, please? What am I?
I should get a copy from everybody.
All right, and Anthony Richardson is the quarterback, Brian says, for Florida. Possible replacement for Tua. Maybe.
Hey, Brian, well, I'll have to do some research. I'll get back to you next week. But if he's athletic, that's what they need.
Absolutely. Did everybody get a chance to go in on the Dolphins-Bills?
I think so.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's come right on over here to Saquon Barkley, the Giants, the Vikings, the mess, the 31-24 win for New York. They're moving on without Eli. Years after Eli, they're moving on in the playoffs. Who wants to start this one off? Is it what you expected? This is my question for everybody. Is this what you expected?
It's what I should. This season and this whole playoffs, me and Sahe look like clowns. I'm telling you, if y'all watched last week now. And last year, I'm telling you, I didn't miss a beat except for the Bengals Super Bowl thing. The year before that, didn't miss a beat. This playoffs, man, I look dumb. Because me and Sahe, like,
damn right.
I'm believing in people I have no business believing.
Right.
That's what this is.
You knew who the quarterback was.
I know, brother, and that's what I'm saying. I literally said last week, I'm like, you know what? Kirk is Kirk, but is what I said. But this team too good. They're gonna finally get that monkey off their back. And I said they're gonna get whooped by Philadelphia. That's what I said, that they would get to that point. And you know what? Shame on me. Shame on me. I don't even need to talk about. There's no analysis necessary. Justin Jefferson, I love that guy. Big proponent of him all year, but it just goes to show you he's got to do something. He to me is the most talented wide receiver in the league in terms of his physical intangibles and tangibles for that matter. But he's had multiple games where he's been taken out of the game mentally, physically, across the board. You're not the best, his whole thing is he coming for number one, right? He's saying Devontae's number one, but by the end of the year, I'm going to be number one. I love that confidence, and I believe he has that in him, but he disappeared again, bro. Just like Green Bay, it's the same thing. And, that's what I'm most disappointed in. I'm disappointed in myself. I'm not disappointed in Kirk Cousins. I'm disappointed in myself for believing in Kirk Cousins, but I'm disappointed in Justin Jefferson, for reals. So this was... I should have known this. I feel so stupid. I got nothing to say other than Daniel Jones looking like amazing now. And, all that New York, what coaching can do, right? I'm not saying Tua's great, but look at Tua's turnaround. Look at Daniel Jones' turnaround. Look at Trevor Lawrence. Look what happens when you have a coach who believes in you and props you up and puts you in position. Justin Fields, even at the second half of the season, when you have coaching that invests in you properly, that's what you see, and that's what happened to Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, this is the first man that I think was to throw for 300 yards and 70 yards rushing in a playoff game or whatever. First time it's ever happened. 75, yeah, never happened before. I never thought in my million years I hear that stat and I'd be like, Daniel Jones, that's the guy that did it. Daniel Jones did it. When I think of Daniel Jones, I think of that clown that was like running. And he's like, "Oh, I got this shit," and he tripped over his own feet. That's what I think of when I think of Daniel Jones, man. But I'll tell you what, he making me forget that was old Daniel Jones. This new guy is something. Saquon doing his thing. These Giants, they a legit team, man. NFC East looking pretty fierce, and we were shit talking them last year, but you got to give them props this year. And Kirk Cousins tricked me for the last time. This is the last time I get stung, man. He like an ex that won't go away, and I keep believing they're not gonna be toxic, and he keep coming back, hit me with that "what you doing" text, and I'm like, I'm not doing anything, Kirk, and I go over, and then he don't call me again. That's what Kirk Cousins is.
His name is 2 a.m. I need to go back. You know what? This weekend,
man.
I'm gonna sit back this weekend. I'm gonna turn on Free Mess on Fridays. I'm gonna let it play and enjoy it, and I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna try to find the clips of you guys from 2 years ago talking about, was it Kirk? What was the nickname? Hand them to me, Cousins? Is it somebody else?
No,
that's Shannon Sharp.
I was walking to him.
Walking.
Yeah, walking to him. Wentz. Oh man, don't start.
That was different. Yeah, that's a whole different thing. But nonetheless,
I don't like to see my
concept. I'm sorry, guys. I'm done. I had to get that off my chest. I've had a miserable prediction so far. Me and Sahe not looking too good.
Not at all.
And it's because of our pride. It's like, oh no, we're trying to be logical. We're not trying to be like realistic, right? Tom Brady, we believe in Tom Brady. He demands. The Cowboys suck. Like, why would he ever assume they're going to win a game? Oh, Kirk Cousins' team looks too good. The Giants are nobodies. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, Brian Daboll can't make this happen. And come on, man, Trevor Lawrence. They went 1-13 last season or some shit. They ain't gonna win. Yeah. And then
right.
I'm done.
I will say this though. I've always been a believer in Daniel Jones. I've always said if you go back in this show, you'll have to. You know what I'm saying?
You said he was a guy.
Yeah, I've always been like that, but I did not expect him to be running like Josh Allen. But in the playoffs, that's what you need. If he could keep that up, the Giants will be dangerous with Saquon Barkley. He can throw the ball. That defense is playing pretty well. They can maybe make some noise. You never know. So it was good to see that out of Daniel Jones and the Giants. Definitely not expected, but shoot, man, we just look so stupid on these picks.
Trey made a smart decision to miss that week.
You know what's crazy? I tell you what's crazy, because we've been singing Brian Daboll's praises all year. We've been talking about Saquon Barkley all year. The defense of the Giants has been solid all year, and we've been trashing and shitting on Kirk Cousins pretty much all year. And what it came down to, another theory of mine, it came down to Daniel Jones is really, really goofy, and Kirk Cousins has a tendency to play really, really good. And I think that's what we looked at. We looked at the quarterbacks and then decided that Kirk Cousins could beat Daniel Jones and forgot about everything else. And that's what tricked us. And that's what Kirk Cousins does. That's what
exactly. He tricks me.
That's exactly what he does. Because if we're really looking at it, we've been singing the praise of the Giants all year. I think all three of us is called Brian Daboll Coach of the Year, and we all know what Saquon Barkley is. And when you get to Daniel Jones, and then all you can think about is him tripping over his feet, and you're like, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I'm not putting my money on that. I'm not putting my money on that.
And it just looks goofy. I was like, there's no way. But he goes out there, he's making the smart decision. He's throwing the ball for 300 yards and then taking off with his 4.7, taking off, separating from people.
Yeah, he's fast.
And this is what he got.
And he's a big boy. He ran the ball 17 times. He's like if Taysom Hill had talent. That's what he is.
Yeah. He hadn't done that all year. Nobody was expecting that.
Well, that's the
But
same. How am I
did you
supposed to
stop it?
expect that? 17 times. Man.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I know what.
And he had nothing but green grass. He was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Open field. I got a place to go here. I know what's going on. It's they want us to look dumb. We call out so many conspiracies here on the Wire Sports Podcast that the NFL is tuned in every week. They know what we want, so they're changing the script on Saturday, like WWE before WrestleMania. They're changing the script. They got to make us look stupid come Wednesday. They know that we're live now. They know that we can't call during a broadcast. They know we're live on Wednesdays. They're changing the script on us.
That's got to
Next thing
be
we
what
know.
it is.
Yeah, it makes 100%. If that doesn't make sense to you, you don't know what you're talking about. That's.
No, I'm with you.
Um,
Well, hold on one sec. I gotta go off that analogy. The WWE Vince McMahon came back, right? He supposedly retired, and now he came back, and he's taking over. This is exactly what that feels like, right? Like, we knew everything that was supposed to happen, and Vince McMahon comes in, knocks on the door, and changes the script. Literally screws us. That's what happened, man. I'm just tired of these white quarterbacks. I never know what's going to happen with them, man. I'm sick of it.
Listen,
Everyone's
Goodell, you got to stop letting the marks know what's going to happen. You got to shake it up every once in a while.
Exactly. Justin Herbert. Oh, everyone's like, bet on Justin Herbert, right? He going to beat Sunshine.
Right.
Justin
He's
Herbert's
been
better
close.
than Joe Burrow. That's what everyone keeps saying. So
if you
it's like,
if you learn anything from Remember the Titans, you run behind Sunshine and you ride him all the way, because he gonna take you to the promised land. Sunshine.
That's Trevor Lawrence now. He the real Sunshine.
Bruh, I'm a believer after that game. I am a believer.
I'm pretty
now.
sure. I can't confirm it. Somebody confirm this in the comments. I think he cameoed in Grey's Anatomy in season 5. I know that's completely random, but
Yeah, somebody confirm that, please.
Someone IMDb that. Let's check it out.
He doesn't have an IMDb, so I don't know. But I mean, it's a kid with giantism that looks exactly like Trevor Lawrence.
Okay. Well, the white ladies watching this show, if you exist, please let us know.
Help me
Because
out.
they're the ones who watch Grey's Anatomy, so we'll know.
Yeah, all the white ladies and me. That's
And Justin. Sorry, and Justin.
Thank you, Shonda Rhimes, for writing it. For us. Okay. Yeah, we got 2 games left, and then we're gonna do our picks. This is my favorite part of the season because we get to hear everybody's picks, and then Richie gets upset because Vince McMahon's writing for the NFL now, and so
Exactly.
I love to see it.
You got no chance in hell, man. Get out of here.
No chance. All right, so the Bengals and the Ravens, classic rivalry that's been around for a long time. Bengals come on top 24-17. Who wants it?
All right, I'm the homer. I'm going to go first. I apologize if anyone wanted to go first, but this one I got to go first on. This is a game where I actually did say it was going to be close. I said it was not going to be a blowout. They don't play well against Baltimore, and this is the one that Sahe and I don't look like fools for once. We're talking about this Ravens secondary is way underrated. More importantly, this Ravens secondary has Cincinnati's number. Joe Burrow does not do good against the Ravens. He really never has. And Smith is a beast. They stole him from Chicago. I was so pissed, and he balled out. So week 18. I'm so used to saying 17 now. Week 18, this dude tackled the Bengals 16 times. Like, dude, he was in all over the place. And in this playoff game, it was close, and it's exactly what I was afraid of because, like, for whatever reason, I am all about Joey Burrow, but he just doesn't do well against Baltimore. And I'll say it right now. A lot of people are like, if Lamar's in, they automatically win. If Lamar's healthy, sure. But if Lamar's injured, I'm not going to say necessarily yes. I'm not worried as a Bengals fan, just to go back to this real quick, because again, this is not a trap game, but this is a conference. Like, They always play each other close. They don't really blow each other out. The first game was a barely win. The last game of the season was also like a little weird. We're not going to get into all the semantics of the coin toss that could have happened. But this was a game that I expected. It went down the way I thought, which was a tough game. The Ravens, as we talked at the beginning of the year, we thought were the best team in that division, even with the Bengals making the Super Bowl. So let's clarify that. Yes, they don't have Lamar Jackson, but this is a team you can't mess with. They're a good team. They run the ball. They play defense. It's kind of like the Niners, just not as talented, quite frankly. And they're a great team. We'll talk about the Lamar stuff at another date, I'm sure. But just to focus on this specific game, it was a tight game. Obviously, that goal line situation, the 98-yard fumble, that's what really changed the dynamic of the game. And who knows what would have happened if that didn't happen. We have drama with the running back. We can always talk about that later. But bottom line is this: Cincinnati squeaked one out, just like the Bills did, and just like a lot of these teams did. But they got it done. So as a Bengals fan, I'll take the win. If you're a Baltimore fan, you have to be happy with your team at how well they played without their superstar, quite frankly. So this was a game. It was stressful for me. It was a great game, though, and it's kind of what we expected, a tough game that was going to be real close.
Yeah. I'll second that for sure. The Ravens would have won if it wasn't for Lamar Jackson not playing. I firmly believe that the Ravens screwed themselves on this. They just they made the playoffs and basically forfeited the game. That's basically how I looked at it. That's really what it comes down to me. That play at the goal line was very unfortunate for the Bengals. For the Ravens, it was very fortunate for the Bengals, right? The ball bounces right to Hubbard. He runs it all the way back. Definitely exciting game to watch. For sure, if nothing else. That's all I got,
And he watched Trevor Lawrence jump, and he's like, I can do that. That's my belief. That's what I think happened.
Trey?
Right.
Yeah, I think it was a tough divisional game, and like you said, Burrow has a tough time against the Ravens. Browns for whatever reason, and styles make fights. Just like I was saying, Patrick Mahomes has a problem with defenses when you can rush for him and drop everybody back. I think Tom Brady had a problem with the Jets defense. Peyton Manning had a problem with Ray Lewis, and then it's just a hard fought game for him. Shouts out to the Ravens for trying, but they need to figure out Lamar. I think that's just the biggest factor for them. If they don't have Lamar in there, they can't operate the way they're meant to operate. The backup, I can't remember his name right now, but he does a great job, and I'm sure he's going to be a great backup somewhere until he can learn more, till he can
Huntley
get those decision-making skills in the right, till he can get them right. But Lamar Jackson was the difference in this game. Huntley. Lamar Jackson is the difference in this game.
Yeah,
breaking news, by the way.
And the Bengals need to figure out how to protect Burrow. Seriously.
Okay, in all fairness, they're missing 3 of their starting line.
Everybody's getting hurt.
There's only so much you can do when you lose your starters. But I agree with you. If the Bengals want any success, they will have to figure out how to make it work. Otherwise, I don't know though. Joe Burrow took 9 sacks against the Titans.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I agree, Richie.
They do, but he took sacks all year.
The boy always taking sacks. It is what it is.
I was just saying, he took sacks all year. So they got the 3 linemen to fix the line, and then he still got sacked. Most in the league.
Yeah.
I agree, Richie. For once, I 100% agree, especially when it comes to Ohio teams. If you're missing some of your superstars, your starters, it's just hard to win in a game when you don't have everybody.
Don't even do that. Look at this guy.
Particularly the number 1 receiver in college football. I mean, okay. So anyway, You had something to say.
I'm disgusted. No, I have nothing to say. Next game. Disgusting.
Shouts out to who's gonna argue Smith and Jigba? Anybody? No, we're not even talking about college football. Let's move on.
No, we're not.
All right, last game to cover for the week. I have this note sitting here, but nobody signed it, so I think we're good. The Cowboys and the Bucks. Oh, we got pancakes with
Pancake
blue
face.
pancake face. There were some faces like that on Monday. The Cowboys and the Buccaneers. Cowboys got this one 31-14. However, there's a job opening. I saw it on Indeed this morning. You just basically need to have finished high school and some college, and you are welcome to be a kicker in Dallas. So, yeah, whoever wants to kick this one off for the Cowboys and the Buccaneers, please do.
Ooh, I'm about to dive in.
Oh gosh.
No, no. This game was everything that I feared. Right, as a Bucks fan, they came out, started slow. They just looked like the team that they were all season, and I was just hoping Ryan Jensen came back. And me and Richie talked about it last week. I said this team wants to have a traditional looking offense, and that's not going to work. They have to run the hurry up, or else they're not going to have success, right? So they come out no urgency. Dak Prescott just looks like the greatest quarterback ever. Yeah, my bad. He looks like the greatest quarterback ever. 5 total touchdowns. He went for like I don't know, 5
like 700 yards.
No, he went for what, like 48 completions in a row. He just cooked the defense. Tom Brady just looked sad, old, and tired. And frankly, he needs to retire, but he's probably going to come back next year. Hopefully it's not with Tampa. I got the Cowboys doing big things, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it.
We will.
There will be no Tom Brady slander.
Brian, that is a hot take. I'll say this.
Super hot.
Brian's hot take. This is super hot. Tom Brady gonna sign a veterans minimum so he can finally play for San Francisco next season, retire after wins a Super Bowl. Now let me say this, Brian. It's a hot take. If you were to do that, you got to put the 49ers as the favorites. I think that's fair. But come on, bro.
Absolutely.
He's not for the love of the game like that. You know what I mean?
He's for the love of money.
I'd love to see it.
And what?
He got a divorce. Man can't afford to take a veteran minimum right now. He got 3 kids. What you talking about? Man?
Right.
He has like $50 million. But Brian, that's a hot take. I like it.
All right, who wants the Cowboys Bucks next? Trey, you want to go?
I'll take it. Somehow the Cowboys win in astonishing fashion and still found a way to Cowboys it up. I don't know what's going on with their kicker, obviously. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was taking the Bucks over the Cowboys just because they're the Cowboys, and I've learned my lesson on Tom Brady. So, like pretty much most of the nation, I feel like, unless you're a Cowboys fan. But shout out to them for finally figuring out how to run the ball aggressively. The defense is coming back, and Dak Prescott knew how to take care of the ball. Good for them.
I gotta shout out my wife and my daughter because they made me pancakes. My daughter, incredible, so good.
Absolutely,
this was a game. This caught me off guard. This is exactly what we're talking about. This is that one game where I went with tradition, no Tom Brady slander, and I went with it's the Cowboys, right? The only one that I was trying to be logical about And this is the game that went the other direction. All the other ones went the way it should have went, and I was a fool. But this one I'm not blaming myself on, because the Cowboys haven't won an away game since like 1992 or something. Like this, come on, you kidding me? So I didn't see it coming. But hey, Cowboys look great. Nothing to say about the Bucks. I'll leave that to Sahe, as he said. Yeah. But Cowboys are looking good. Yeah. At least that one.
You know when I seen it coming. All right, when I'm on the YouTube, like I said before, and I'm just watching videos or whatever, and I go through like it's the day of the game, and Stephen A is just railing on the Cowboys fans, all in Cowboys fans' faces, talking shit. And then I seen a video, Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott's dad show up to First Take, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're gonna win this game. Stephen A just jinxing us way too hard, talking way too greasy. It's not good for us.
The NFL hired Jake Paul, then they hired Vince McMahon, and just got some wacky stuff going on. I tell you what, I fell down the stairs earlier in the week and accidentally kicked my cup. It exploded all over the wall, but right in the middle. I got 3 different job offers. I keep turning them down. And Dallas is like, you got the cup down the middle. That's better than we can do. All right. Any last thoughts on this week's play before we move into to our picks?
No, let's do it. Let's pick it out.
All right. We've got a series of 4 picks. We've got Richie, Sahe, Trey, and then Brian in the comments. We're going to go through these 4 games. Let us know who you think's got them. Give us a one take or a hot take. One shot, what we're used to. Let's hype it up. So first game, this is Saturday, January 21st. I'll be digging through the annals to pull some of the old wire clips. But I'll be watching as the Jaguars and the Chiefs face off. Richie, who do you got? Jaguars or the Chiefs?
Why'd you just throw this in first? Okay.
I'm just going in my screen order.
Let me explain something. This is a tough pick. They played each other. Kansas City had a lot of turnovers. Jaguars lost by 10. This is a different Jaguar team. I don't know. I'm all on board Sunshine, but not this week. Sorry, man. I'm going to have to Kansas City. This is going to be a close game. I really feel that. I feel strongly about it. I'm not saying Kansas City's Kansas City. But I also want to point out that Kansas City is not leaps and shoulders are better than any of these teams. And if anything, we saw how resilient Jacksonville is. So even if Kansas City, say, got up 27 points or whatever, doesn't mean anything to this Jacksonville team. But I just think Kansas City is playing great right now. And as I said last week, got a shout out to the best DT in the business right now, Chris Jones. I got to stick with Kansas City this time. Although I do think this was the team Kansas City didn't want to play between them and the Chargers. I think this was the scarier option. And it's what they got, and it's gonna be a game. I don't think this is gonna be like a blowout. This is gonna be within 7 points, I believe, by next week. So if Kansas City wins, they barely win.
We got one for the Chiefs. Next on my screen. Oh, we'll switch it. That way I can run from Sahe into the comments. So Trey, you've got the Chiefs and the Jaguars. Thank you for your pick. All right, Sahe. He said I'm not voting on this. I'm tired of this shit. So changing up the order.
He said, "Ooh, I'm out of here."
I'm not making that call. All right,
that is
Sahe, we'll do yours while Trey comes back in.
I was thinking what my mind last week on all my picks, right?
Think with your heart this week.
My heart says Jacksonville in overtime. Heartbreaker. They get a field goal to win. Patrick Mahomes throws an untimely interception, first possession in overtime. The Jaguars somehow still won in Arrowhead. All right. So that's my pick. I'm gonna go with Jacksonville.
I might have to bunker
Overtime.
down. I might have to bunker down. This city gets crazy with those losses. They're a little bit on the crybaby
Mhm.
side. Trey, please don't leave, man. I just wanted your pick. Who you got? The Jags or the Chiefs?
Mute it. You mute it.
Nope.
He
We'll
just
come
doesn't-
back to him.
He just
We'll
doesn't
come
want
back
to
to
tell
him.
me.
He really doesn't want to.
Yeah.
I know what he wants. He wants to say Jacksonville, but he just doesn't have it in
Uh-huh.
him to keep hanging up.
Brian comes in, Chiefs win, but with a last-second field goal. So kind of the opposite of Sahe's pick there.
See, that's what you think is gonna happen. It's gonna be tied up, last second field goal to win. They're gonna miss. They're gonna win the coin toss. Patrick Mahomes is going to be running around. He's going to flip it, but not see somebody pick field goal. Jaguars take it home. Bet that, Brian. Bet
Hey,
that. All right. Bet
I'll
that.
tell you, if that happens, Sahe, and it could.
Uh-huh.
If that happens, does Kansas City start getting worried because Patrick Mahomes got picked off in overtime against the Bengals?
Uh-huh.
If that happens
Yeah.
2 years in a row,
Yeah, that
maybe
Billy
we start
Dollar.
having some slander.
Yeah.
Same thing.
know.
First drive, threw an interception. Same thing.
I just hope they
Mm-hmm.
don't get like a 13-second comeback or something, because it's exhausting hearing about all year round, but all we need is 13 seconds. But that just got you to the next round. The Bengals didn't care about 13 seconds.
Yeah, I was like, wait. Oh, you mean that they rally around that 13-second thing?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, all year. It's
okay.
like all we need. There's shirts,
Wow.
there's posters. I'm like, the 13 seconds didn't pay off in the end. It paid off in that game.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, Kansas City better hope to the Lord Buffalo beats the Cincinnati Bengals. And I'm just being honest, because there's sometimes you have somebody's number, and they've lost 3 in a row, man. And every time it's been like Kansas City started off okay, and they just crumble at the end. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be Kansas City in that scenario.
Nope. And I gotta live here and drive around it all. All right. So the next one, we're waiting on Trey. Thank you, Brian, for your pick. We're gonna move on to the next one. Now we've got the Giants and the Eagles going at it. A late game on Saturday. Tough call. We reverse the order. Sahe, who you got? The Eagles or the Giants?
Divisional matchup. These teams know each other very well. Daniel Jones is coming off a great performance. That Giants team is feeling good. They are rolling right now. All right. And on the flip side, the Eagles are in new territory. Their number one pick. Jalen Hurts been playing great all year. They've kind of tailed off late in the season, either due by injury or whatever reason there. I just feel like they're going to be too careful with Jalen Hurts in this game. And they're facing a team that's going to come in there and they're going to run the football. They are going to get after it, and they're just going to take what's there. I see Daniel Jones having another stellar performance against a division rival in Philly. I feel like the crowd's going to be a nice split crowd. There's going to be a lot of Giants fans in the building. So it's going to be probably one of the best games of the weekend. I got the Giants taking this one. And I feel like this one will end in regulation, but I'm going to give a final score of 26-17 for the Giants.
Justo is muted.
26-17 Giants.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rich.
Hey, Trey's back, so let's get Trey's pick.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's Trey, we want to hear from you on the Jaguars and Chiefs. And then why don't you go ahead and give us Giants and Eagles? Give us a twofer, and then we'll roll into Richie.
Okay, real quick. I'm taking the Jaguars. Like I said, I think Patrick Mahomes has a real tough time with defenses that can rush without bringing the blitz. That gives him real big problems. Case in point, he always has a tough game against the Raiders. And I'm going to take the Eagles because I just think it's their year. They're the most balanced team.
Looking at the tally for the Chiefs and the Jaguars, we had 2-2 counting
2-2.
Brian. So Richie and Brian with the Chiefs.
Reluctantly Richie, but yes.
Reluctant Richie with the Chiefs. And then Sahe and Trey calling the upset. And then so far we've got 1 Giants, 1 Eagles. Richie, what's your take?
I mean, I've been on the Philadelphia train damn near all year. I felt like they've been incredible. We've argued originally around week 10, week 11. Hey, are they frauds based on the schedule? You know, who they and their opponents. This is a great team. I want to start off by saying that. I'm trying not to be prisoner of the moment, but they also played in week 18 to give a tune-up game for Jalen Hurts, and they only won by like 6 points with none of the Giants starters. This is kind of like that Baltimore-Cincinnati game. Now, I'm still picking the Giants. It's not for that. I'm just trying to get background. I believe this is the Giants game this time. The Eagles crushed them 44-22 at the beginning of the year. And I believe the Giants are not the same team as that team. And I just believe if Daniel Jones plays like how Jalen Hurts can play, which that's what Daniel Jones looked like on Sunday, he kind of evens that out. Now, if you look at it on paper, like Trey said, Eagles are just incredible. I think the only team you could argue is equally balanced is like San Francisco in terms of skill. Like all those players on the Eagles are phenomenal. So like my pick doesn't sound logical, but I just believe the Giants have momentum, kind of like Jacksonville. And this is just a coin flip on the other side. Even though I'm not going to Jacksonville, I believe, and they have that momentum, I am going with the Giants in this case. I just believe this team has got it figured out. I think they know exactly how to play to their strengths, and they play around what their team's good at. And I just believe right now, with Jalen coming off of his injury, remember, he just came back, guys. And this is exactly how I felt about the Bengals and the Titans. When you have a guy, superstar, who's injured and comes back, they're never exactly the same, at least not right away. And this is too important of a game for him to not be there. And I'm not saying he's not going to be there. He's not going to be 100% Jalen Hurts. It's just not going to happen. So that's why I'm really thinking in a close game, the Giants will win this game, because I just believe Jalen's still a little hurt. I think he's still a little hurt, and I think that's going to be the difference at the end of the day. This team, Giants are just like on a roll. I think they're the Jacksonville equivalent, and I think they're going to just squeeze past Philadelphia, and it'll be interesting.
So yeah, I agree. Jalen is hurt.
Oh Lord, I didn't see that coming.
All right, so far, 2 Giants, 1 Eagles over there with Trey, and Brian makes this one a 3-1. Says Giants are going to win in overtime, 42-35. So that one we're a little split on. Trey, I'm standing with you. I don't have my pick, doesn't count, but I'll stand with you.
Your pick counts.
My pick counts?
Of course your pick counts.
Oh, well, yeah, I think the Eagles, because Jalen Hurts brought me more.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Yeah, I mean, I took some risks in our fantasy football, and, I can never pull out the final victory. Richie always beats me in the championship, but I had a good season, and a lot of that was thanks to
He had a great
Jalen
season.
Hurts.
He actually won the most games this season, even though I technically won the championship.
Yeah, kick my butt in the head. It's a good old-fashioned NFC East. This won't let me add. What's going on? Oh, it's trying to do the iPad thing. Oh, here we go. Good old-fashioned NFC East slugfest. Hey, one thing I think we can all agree on this year, not the NFC East. Not
at all.
Not the NFC
Not
East.
at all.
Major turnaround from
3 in the playoffs, man. And
Yeah.
you could have had all 4.
Could have had 4.
Could have. All right, this is a good one. This is one we always love to see. We've got the Bengals and the Bills. Let's shake up the order again. Let's start off with Trey. Trey, Bengals and Bills Sunday afternoon game, January 22. That sounds like a good 1-2-2, 2-3. Something special going on.
I think I'm going to take the Bengals. I just think that they have a lot of talent on offense. I think Joe Burrow is starting to get in his groove and starting to deal. I like their defense. I just think that the Bills have had too much going on, and that Josh Allen needs to get through whatever this is. I don't think he gets through it in time.
I was unmuted the whole time. I went to go unmute. I'm like, oh, I muted myself. Let's go, Sahe. Sahe, what do you got? Bengals, Bills, dragging out the suspense with the homer up there.
This was supposed to be the biggest game of the year at the point in time where they had their matchup. So it's going to be super exciting to see. I just think without Von Miller, it's going to be hard for me to see the Bills win this game. Against the Dolphins, they weren't up against a stellar quarterback with an awesome receiving core, great running back there. Even though they have a not even decent O-line, I think it's going to hold up enough, especially without a Von Miller back there. Von Miller's in, Bills will win this game every time. He's not in. It's gonna be tough for them to consistently put pressure on Joe Burrow. He's going to still be able to stand in there and deliver the football. I see the Bengals winning this game by a score of it's probably going to be 38 38-30.
38-30. Okay.
All right, Richie.
29.
As the homer who tries to be objective, let me just say this. I'm disappointed in this game. Here's why I'm already disappointed. Because of what happened, and it was really unfortunate, and most importantly is we're glad the kid's all right. This game is defaulted to Buffalo, which in any other circumstance isn't going to happen. It was going to be, if Buffalo plays Kansas City, it's neutral. But even though Cincinnati didn't lose to them, and that game would have determined who got the home field advantage in this game, Cincinnati has to go to Buffalo. I actually think this helps Cincinnati, though. I think Cincinnati, and Joe Burrow even said it, like he's kind of pissed off that like they're the underdogs. He said, like, I don't ever feel like I'm the underdog, and he likes to play away, actually. So I think that plus, so he mentioned the biggest point why I think they'll win, no Von Miller. I don't care if Kappa's healthy. I don't care if this whole line's healthy. If Von Miller's in this game, I feel like he has that capability of ending the game, period. Even with Josh Allen's like mediocre play right now, I believe Von Miller would easily would turn the swing of this. And let me be very clear, Buffalo can still win this game. It's not like Cincinnati is like better than Buffalo. I just think Cincinnati has had back-to-back games against Baltimore. Joe Burrow's pissed off because he's had 2 mediocre games. And I think this is going to be Joe Burrow's game. I think this is the game Joe Burrow's going to be like, finally, I can throw the ball. Like, finally, my guys are going to have opportunities. And I think they're going to try to go aggressive early and often. And I think that's going to be the difference. I don't think this is a blowout. This was I don't remember the score at the time. It was like 10-7 or 14-10, something like that, when they were playing in Cincinnati. And I believe they're 2 evenly matched teams, but Josh Allen's on the downtrend right now. I think Buffalo's kind of been, even though they've been winning, they haven't been impressive. And not having Von Miller, I think, will be the difference, even with this shoddy O-line, like Sahe said. So I think the Cincinnati squeaks by this week. I think they barely win this game. But I do believe it should be Cincinnati to win. I think right now they're in a better position playing than Buffalo has been over the last 6 weeks. So if Buffalo steps up, if Buffalo plays like early in the year, they're going to win. I just think Buffalo's been playing bad, and I think Cincinnati's been playing is fine. Outside of Baltimore, they've been playing amazing. I think they've won 8 out of the last 9 games. Like they're playing very well. So
absolutely. So a clean sweeps thus far for the Bengals. Brian upsetting the wave here. Game's either going to end up 13-10 or 52-48.
Depends on the weather, Brian. You're right.
I agree with that.
I agree with that.
Bill's gonna take it. Josh Allen scoring the winning touchdown with his legs.
Could easily happen.
Could happen. It could happen. All right, that leaves us with the Cowboys, probably with a new kicker, and the 49ers.
No. They just signed another dude just to warn the kicker.
Did they already? That was quick.
Yeah, they did. They signed. I'm not kidding. They signed another guy.
Yeah.
They're not kicking. They're not firing him, but they're saying like, bro, like step it up.
Yeah.
You can't miss 4 in a playoff game. That's
Well, not again. Again, the last.
Yeah,
Not
yeah, you can do it twice.
We ain't playing Tampa Bay right now. Like we need to step it up.
all right. We got the Cowboys, Niners. Richie, when we started back with you, or Sahe hasn't started one. Sorry, Sahe, Richie, Trey, Ryan.
We'll do this, right? Micah Parsons, kind of the same effect as Von Miller, right? He's going to get after Brock Purdy. I feel like the Cowboys kind of have that team of destiny, like kind of feel to them this year. They've already taken down the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Everybody, they feel like the most disrespected team in the playoffs right now. So I feel like I see the Cowboys getting this game. Dak Prescott continues to light it up. I don't know, he's not going to light it up because that defense is just too good, right? So I feel like the Cowboys still win this game, but I feel like they shut down the running game as best as possible, and they just make 1 or 2 more plays than the 49ers. I see this game maybe being like a 19-13 win for the Cowboys, something like low scoring kind of, but Cowboys still get the win.
All right, Richie.
I have to disagree with Sahe, and it makes me sound like a homer because I'm like the kind of Niners gang here too now, unfortunately. But I got to stick with my guys. The Niners are going to win this game. Here's why. The Niners are going to win because the Niners like to run the ball. Well, so does Dallas, but the Niners have one of the best rush defenses in the league. So Dak is going to have to play like Dak did against Tampa Bay. But this is the Niners defense, and I don't think he'll be capable of it. And if he does do it, I will be the first one to be like, dude. And I really think that's the difference. I'm not going to sit here and say it's because it's Dallas and they're going to choke and all this other stuff. I personally believe, just like Sahe said, that it's also the Niners' destiny because they lost their starting quarterback. They had to beg Jimmy Garoppolo to come back. Jimmy Garoppolo comes in. He gets injured, and they have to use Mr. Irrelevant. The last pick of the draft is their quarterback, and who's gone 5-0 and thrown for 300 yards in all 5 games. So to me, that's why I think they're destined to win this game. But what I will say is, it is not this is not a coin flip per se, but these are 2 talented teams, and it's not like San Francisco's head and shoulders better than Dallas. I just think San Francisco is the best defense in the playoffs right now. And we always talk about defense wins championships. This is a San Francisco team that the Rams had to come back and barely win, who won the Super Bowl last year. And this is a team who's literally just gotten better quite like across the board because Jimmy Garoppolo's trash. We don't like Jimmy Garoppolo in the Bay. We never have. We didn't like him last year. The team likes him, but as fans, we don't like him. All right? And with that corpse, who's like just like Kirk, Mr. Checkdown, throws it 3 yards instead of 8, instead of 15. When you got Deebo Samuel and Ayuk, this is a kid who's, to Trey's point, a little too aggressive and a little foolish. So he's going to throw aggressively, and I believe that's what they're going to have to do. And I'll say this: if Micah Parsons, like you said, plays like Micah Parsons is capable, they lose the game. Like Dallas is going to win, but Micah he had a great game last game. But Mike, just like the Bills, Micah hasn't been playing great in this. And it's weird to say. I think he's 14 sacks on the year, but he got 14 in the first 11 weeks. And then he didn't get a single one like the rest. So I don't know what Micah Parsons is going to show up. If Micah Parsons shows up like the Micah Parsons, then Dallas can win this game. But I don't think that will happen, and I believe the Niners defense will kind of shut down that vaunted Cowboys rushing attack. because that's what if the Cowboys win, and I don't believe they will, but if they win, it will be because that running back tandem gets the job done. And if they do, they deserve to win. But like that's what the Niners are best at, is rush defense. And Nick Bosa is a man on a mission. He's going to be Defensive Player of the Year. And I truly believe the Niners will find a way to win this game. I believe they are barely the better team. But this is the team that, like, top to bottom, in my opinion, maybe Trey thinks Philly, is the most talented team in the playoffs right now. And I just don't see how they lose this particular game.
All right. On-air tiebreaker, Trey sitting in what looks like a very comfortable chair.
Yeah. Whatever that is.
Well, Sahe called the Cowboys. Richie saying the Niners. Most talented team in the playoffs, possibly. What are you thinking, man? Who you got?
I got the 49ers, and I don't think it's going to be close. Couple of things. The book is out on Micah Parsons. If you don't run directly at him and make him make a decision, you can neutralize him to some degree. The Cowboys' back end of their safeties, their cornerback, their DBs are shaky at best. We all know you can hit Trevon Diggs with a double move. He might be their best corner. They don't have a safety to speak of. They're down to their like fourth string cornerback. Yep. And if you neutralize Micah Parsons, then that leaves the rest of them on an island, and they don't win by themselves. They need Micah Parsons to get out and be scary early. We all talk about Brock Purdy, but the 49ers have the most explosive weapons on offense in all of football, and that's including the Philadelphia Eagles. They have Brandon Ayuk, they have Christian McCaffrey, they have Kittle, they have Deebo Samuel. And all Brock Purdy has the courage to do is actually push the ball downfield, which is what the Cowboys are susceptible to. It's not right. I don't think it's right. He doesn't have to be great. He only has to do his job. Get the balls to the playmakers, and they have playmakers everywhere.
They're yards after the catch guys. I'm with Trey on that.
Crazy. You just got to get them in a position to make a play, and Purdy does that to a T, even down the field. It's not like he's throwing into double coverage. He's throwing wide receivers into the spots where only they can make the play, which is what he's supposed to do. And let's not forget the coaching. Does anybody really believe in Mike McCarthy?
You're right. I didn't even factor that in.
Like, is that what we're saying?
I forgot about Mike McCarthy.
Yep.
I wasn't even thinking about the coaching. I was just looking at the teams.
And we're talking about the guy who made Matt Ryan an MVP. Think about the year Matt Ryan had this year. He made that into an MVP. So to me, it's not even. And we haven't even talked about the defense. San Francisco's defense is elite. How many people did they shut out in the second half this year? Was it 5-6 games in a row?
6 games in a row.
Yeah, this is a rout, guys. And that's just how I feel about it. I just think that there's way too many questions for Dallas, and they're Dallas. And then we really don't have any questions about the 49ers. And it doesn't even matter what quarterback they had. We didn't have questions about the 49ers, and they had Jimmy G in.
No, you're right. Everyone was just like, they went to Mexico, he threw for 300 yards, and they're like, all right.
And then they got Christian McCaffrey.
You're right.
You know what I mean? And we all think that Trey Lance is better than Justin. Or he's trending upwards. And then they put in Brock Purdy, and I mean, he's really done nothing for any excoriation or anything like that. Oh, what word did I just use? He didn't do anything for us to distrust him with the football. So, in my estimation, I think this is going to be a rout. I don't think it's going to be close. 49ers move on to the next level.
Man, Trey going way too big. Excoriation. I don't even know what that means. But
I need a degree.
I don't even know if it's a word, but it sounded really good.
It sounded like
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. I would have believed it.
I would have believed it.
Hashtag excoriation, blow it up.
If you just doubled down on that and didn't say nothing else and just stopped, like I hit him with it, I would have believed you for sure.
I'm gonna look it up afterwards.
All right, so we got 2 for the Niners, 1 for the Cowboys. Brian coming in hot. Niners with 28-10 win. Jerry Jones blows up the team by moving on from Elliott and Prescott. You heard it here first.
Dang.
And he blew
CD
up.
Lamb about to set a playoff record. Watch.
Ooh.
How about that?
Ooh, I can't take 2 hot takes in a row. My
I'm calling out CeeDee Lamb playoff record, most drops in a game.
Probably. I'll take that. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
We got hot takes, we got hot cakes, everything that you need on the wire here. All right, folks. Thank you so much, Brian, for always being so active in our chat here. Folks, if you want to join Brian in the chat, it's very easy. Just go in the chat and join him. Hey, listen, finding us is easier than it's ever been before here at H2G Radio. Just go to h2gradio.com, home base, everything you need to see. We've got the entire series of the H2G podcast, the show that started it all. 8 seasons of fantastic content. You can go back to the beginning of The Wire when we were a segment on another show, now the longest running show on the network. Check out Free Mess on Fridays, guys. I'm not playing around. You can't be missing this show. The content is fantastic, and it's your much needed end to the week. True Crime for the Innocent Mind season 2. If you missed our teaser for season 2, you can catch that on the YouTube channel. You can find it all right from the website, h2gradio.com. Actors breakdowns all on there, Boss Dog Show, and of course, The Wire, baby. We're here every single week, and we'll see you next week to cover what we'll be setting up, the Super Bowl. We are almost there, and so folks, let us know. Get in the comments if you want to get involved. All you got to do, h2gradio.com. There's a beautiful tab called Contact. Shoot us a message. We'll get you in here. If you want to be a host, if you want to produce, edit, you just want to be more involved in general, or you want to support us, that's huge. We're looking for support. We're looking for a marketing professional as well. So lots of opportunity to get involved in podcasting right now. I think that's it. I think that's everything.
Oh, quick second. I got to interrupt your live, laugh, and love.
Do it.
I'm going to be in Ohio for the Super Bowl. Just letting y'all know.
Going.
Let's go.
Just got
Hit me up. Hit me up.
I'm going to hit
It's
you up.
going down. It's going down.
I just got a truck. It's going to cost me $400 of gas to get to Ohio, but we might have to make something happen.
If we can, that'd be great, but I'm definitely hitting up Sahe regardless. We can make
do
it happen.
that. Yes,
Do
sir.
that. You guys got to at least record together, and
We'll do something.
If I go, I don't think Vegas is on the way, but we can work something. I'll pick you up. I got a 4-seater truck.
I'm down. I'm down.
Come on.
We'll do it live.
I've been looking to use some PTO.
There we go. Yeah, I got forced into PTO at the end of the year because I never used it. So I'm with you. Brian says when we come back after the NFL, we're going into the XFL, baby.
Let's go. I can't wait.
We'll cover some XFL. We'll go back to our normal format and have stories, but we'll make sure we get the XFL involved.
Hot take: Brady retires, goes straight to the XFL.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that is a hot take. Oh man,
It's another 12 years, another 12 wins.
Uh-huh.
Wait. I don't think it's that much of a hot take. It's so much that, you know what? He's divorced and he has nothing better to do. I'm kind of with Sahe on this.
I could win another championship in this league. I'm gonna win it right.
Exactly.
CFL's next.
Then
He just plays in every NFL league. That would be funny.
The USFL championship.
That's right.
And then eventually he's got job offers for every broadcasting network.
Wait, question before we sign off. Question: if he goes back to school, is he still ineligible? How does that work?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
anything's possible now that Stetson Bennett played.
Because I'm just saying. Well, because that's what I was getting at. There you go. Stetson Bennett played till he's 45. Also, J.R. Smith, who was a professional NBA player, went and played golf in the NCAA.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could do another sport.
You could do another sport.
You could do football.
Okay, so Tom Brady could play baseball. Got it. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
throw his arm
He can
out
Michael
first
Jordan
year.
Yeah.
Or hockey.
Or hockey, yeah. He could try his hand at
Wow.
soccer. All right, we got it.
I wouldn't do soccer if I were him, but I got you. We got to get going. I just had to throw that out there. Then
I
maybe
love
he'll go
that.
back to the NCAA.
Yeah, I mean, he
He's got
probably has a year
time
of
on his
eligibility.
hands,
At
man.
least if he plays for Georgia, he does. They got the refs
That's
to
all
back
right.
that bullshit up. Okay, so that's it. Live, laugh, love like you should last. Yes, I'm still salty, but that's okay. We'll see you next week. Stay
Peace.
cautious.
Bulldog.
Oh,
It's on, y'all.
get that out of go, Bulldog. Get
Bulldog.
out of here.